final race for Group B. I'm sure we're in for a bit of a treat. I think this has been it's been fun. Monza was a good one. Nürburgring's an interesting track. I think Luke Bennett's the man to beat round here.
It's wild, isn't it? I tell you what, Nürburgring though, lots of danger, Lewis. And this particular corner, I mean, Dunlop corner is the one I'm earmarking, of course. The hairpin bend. We've had a few hairpins in today's action already, but this one at the Nürburgring is really, really tricky. It narrows off a little bit. You could take the outside line, but at the same time, it can cost you. But this stadium section, the very first section, we just saw briefly as well, the drivers just taking to it just there. Again, very tricky, and we're just seeing a few of them again try and tackle it, and then that leads you through down towards the Dunlop curve when you make your way out of Valvoline and Ford sections coming out of turn 6. But after that, that big major hairpin at turn 7, you've got the Michael Schumacher S, which will then lead you out towards the Michelin curve, and then through Bitcurve and Bogan. Next up, of course, being the NGK chicane. Lots of iconic sections, very similar to some of the tracks, obviously, with their iconic corners, but Nürburgring, very unique in its own right. Yeah, and just to clarify as well, for those of you watching who actually might know the Nürburgring, we're running the slower of the two chicanes, the tighter one, where we'll see some big dives around the back end of the circuit. We're not running the fast chicane that you might see when they go running around the Nürburgring Nordschleife as well. We'll take a look at the top 24 drivers at the moment, because of course Kevin Siggy's right at the top of these standings after the 2 race victories that he's had. The main change in this is Marcel Cinchik's moved into 3rd position, and again we're looking for the top 12 drivers. So those on the left-hand side of your screen, those are the ones that will be moving through into day 2 thus far. But those that are a bit lower down, they are in problem town. We think we're aiming for about 30 points. So for Siggy, for Usgaard, for Cinchik, we think they're safe. For Pajic and Kevin Etnish Jr., they're close. And then for Kasdorp down, no. But then again, the likes of Kasdorp, Baldwin, Bennett, they've got another race to do. They are in this race now, so maybe we might see a bit of a turnaround. Who knows? Absolutely right. And as we're seeing Isaac Price there, he'll be hoping for another decent qualifying run. And of course, it could be the case that somebody else steps up as well. You could argue Luke Bennett will be looking to try and advance his cause. We're just moments away from qualifying. Once again, as we take another look at the precious trophy that's on offer here at the Gamers8, obviously here at ESL 1, brought to you by Aramco. It's getting sweaty. It's getting hot here in the arena. And there is Yuri Kasdorp waiting on as qualifying is about to get underway. Practice is finished. It's all coming down to this. The final race in Group B. Qualifying to kick us off here, Lewis. Yeah, certainly so. And this is one where, as much as we've said for likes of Monza, likes of Spa, track position doesn't matter too much. You can work your way up the order. Here is not the case. Pole position, in my opinion, is needed if you want to take victory. At least front row. If you're behind that, if you're 5th, you're 6th, whatever, you are not winning this race. Not unless you have the biggest of unbelievable sends coming down into the first corner. Qualifying then is about to get underway. We'll see who's going to grab pole position here for the final race in Group B. Luke Bennett has an incredible record around this circuit. Will he be able to continue it? He's topped practice and thus is the first driver out onto the circuit. Heading down to the first corner, this tight hairpin. He'll hold it over to the right-hand side and then we'll head into the Mercedes arena section. Flicks left up and over this crest. It's kind of blind from where you're driving inside the cockpit. Then down the hill in towards this sort of 3 and 4 sections. We leave the arena section. This is the prime opportunity to get an off-track and a slow-down penalty. Running out wide here, you need to use a lot of the circuit, but it's kind of hard to work out how much you can use. Down towards Ford and Valvoline, tidy opening sector for Luke Bennett. Yeah, looking very smart indeed. Now on the run down towards the Dunlop hairpin. This is where we mentioned you can get certainly the rise coming through here. He makes his way out to the Ford section. And there is the tenacious Dunlop curve right ahead of them here at turn 7. You can see it there with a massive gravel trap on the left-hand side. And this is what I meant with it being so narrow at this very point here as well, Lewis. Obviously, if some of the drivers are going 2, sometimes even 3 wide that we have seen already tonight, it could well be the case. We could see a few of those. Through the Schumacher S as well. Luke Bennett keeping it pinned, already doing a 36.2 in the first sector. Oh, slow down. Slow down for Luke Bennett. And you see the reaction. He's devastated. Yeah, that's instantly. I heard the engine drop. You could see it in the left-hand side where you can see Luke Bennett himself. Slow down penalty for one of the absolute favourites in this race. That is massive. His times were tracking quite well. 36.2 in the first sector is decent. The aim for the lap time is a 52.9. If you can, well, to be fair, it's a 53.0. If you can break it to the 52s, you're almost certainly in the realm for possibility for pole. But that slow down penalty,
almost certain that Luke Bennett will start from the rear of the field. Maybe not 12th, maybe 11th or 10th. That's why they've got to keep going and keep pushing. But for Luke Bennett, he'll come across the line and down the order. You can see the disappointment because he's not done enough to move through yet, and that could be big drama for Team Redline, who may well be losing a driver here. Bennett 54.3.
Yeah, contrasting performances between two Team Redline drivers. Marcel Cinchik, the man who has just taken a stellar race win at the Temple of Speed at Monza, coming over now this next segment, coming through the sausage curb as well, setting a 47.3 would be the realm, but he's gone faster than that with a 47.262, so he is certainly on track for a stellar lap here as well. Coming through the final corner out of the Coca-Cola curve, comes across the line and he's smiling because he knows he's on for a super lap. Coming through towards sector 3 at 29.7 as well, looking very dialed in, lost a few tenths, so you could argue in that final sector, but a 153.2 is certainly no less quick.
Yeah, the first and second sector there were amazing. He lost a little bit of time going through the chicane, but still a 53.2 is a decent lap time, only 1.1 faster than a driver with a slowdown though, so question marks to be had there. Again, first sector, 36.2 for Thomas Tattler. That is on the money. 47.3, that is on the money. Thomas Tattler out of the final corner up towards the line. Can Tattler do anything about Marcel Cinchik's lap time as he heads over the line? He'll move his way up the order, but we're not sure as to where.
Yeah, still sitting tight, waiting for the final sector to come through, and obviously Thomas Tattler, will we be calling him the Flying Finn after this one? We'll have to wait and see.
I think it was slower than Cinchik.
Yeah, I think he was. I think not quite as fast. Obviously, that first and second sector proving decisive for Marcel Cinchik, the Hungarian. Plenty of other cars now about to cross the line, including that of the Porsche Commander that makes its way through. Mac Backham, the Big Mac, comes across the line as well.
Yeah, we've lost our in-game graphics, so we'll keep our way pounding through this session. I don't know where Mac Backham did. I think it's still Marcel Cinchik on top. Coming through now is Yuri Kazdorp, who actually had a really solid race early on before back in Monza. Really, really solid. He's got 20 points. He's finished in second place. He just needs to score a few more in here. He'll cross the line, but again, we've got no idea.
Yeah, sit tight, folks. They are coming through.
There
Here
we
they
go.
are. The Big Mac, incidentally, having some issues of his own. 2.8 off the top. But Thomas Tattler at 153.024. Daniel Pajtor, who in his first visit to ESL R1, and look at that, just over 0.2 of a second faster than Marcel Cinchik's time earlier on. Here comes Pajtor, the Slovakian now, Slovenian, looking to make his way up towards the line now, representing the Williams esports team. Pajtor towards the line. He goes fourth fastest ahead of Luke Bennett.
Yeah, Yuri Kazdorp, then confirmation that he went to third position. Well, that's a mega lap time from Thomas Tattler. But yeah, Pajtor into fourth position. Two drivers with slowdowns being Luke Bennett and Mac Backham. Ryan Barneveld, the next one to come through as he will head into the final corner. We don't have sector times to bring you, so we'll just talk you through their final sectors for them. There is Ryan Barneveld on the left-hand side. See if there's any reaction coming out of the final corner. Look straight up towards the sector time. See where he's going to kind of end up. And for him, it is good enough for fourth position, just 2,000 of a second behind Yuri Kazdorp.
Yeah, be part of the top 12. It's all the more vital. James Baldwin knows how much this qualifying session could make the difference for his performance heading through the Gamers8, as now we're seeing certainly now the car make its way out of the final chicane as well at NGK. Rounding now the final bend at Coca-Cola Curve, turn 15. James Baldwin, world's fastest gamer, as we alluded to, coming off the back of a tricky race last time out at Monza. He knows he can do so much as well. Second fastest, 51 thousandths off Thomas Tattler, which says a lot, I think, about the heroic driver's lap time of 53.024, still yet to be beaten.
Yeah, like I say, if you're getting a 53.0, if you're getting into the 52s, you're doing a mega lap time. Not too many people can get down to that. Thomas Tattler on for a really, really solid performance here, and especially with what his teammate did earlier on. I mean, this could be mega for the heroic team. Johan Harth into the final complex of corners, into the Coca-Cola Cup, out of it and down towards the line. Johan Harth, the Frenchman, who had a bit of a struggle back at Monza. He'll only go into 6th place. Not looking like he's super strong around here. Here comes the pole sitter, though, from Monza.
Yeah, certainly is. Can lightning strike twice here for Isaac Price as he makes his way through the NGK chicane as well. The BMW also physical over the curbs as it makes its way through towards the final bend as well at the Coca-Cola Curve. G2 Esports, no doubt, celebrating after that stellar pole that he delivered for the team. Can Price do the same this time at the Nürburgring as now they come up towards that start-finish line? Third fastest for Isaac Price. He'll be happy. 64 thousandths away. Again, 3 cars within the same tenth of a second.
Yeah, Lasse back will be the next one. Furia, just 2 more lap times to beat. Into the final complex, we head into the NGK and up towards the last corner here. Lasse back for Furia as he heads his way through. Furia have looked strong. They've looked handy in the capable hands of Lasse Sorensen. Lasse back having a few struggles out through the final corner, up towards the line, and Lasse back, the Dane, will move his way into 9th place. Just 1 more lap time to come. It's Ulas Olzilderim.
Yeah, Ulas Olzilderim now making his way towards now the next chicane at NGK, and will then peel his way through. You'll have turn 15 coming up after this to then tee up a run towards the start-finish line. As the Turk now makes his way through that next section. Now, he'll put his foot to the floor yet again. Can he drag his car higher up the order? Very soon it'll become apparent as to where his sector times currently sit now as we take a look. He also takes a curious look towards the left-hand side. Goes 7th fastest ahead of Johan Harth and Daniel Pajtor. Position 7 goes to him, but it's Thomas Tatler on top, Lewis McGlade.
Yeah, Tatler's fantastic, isn't he? That was a great lap time from Thomas Tatler. He also, did you notice how finished was that? He didn't even respond going across the line. He crossed the line and it was just sort of like, yeah, well, there we go. Cool. Anyway, pole position, fair enough. But yes, getting one over on James Baldwin, very, very impressive for Thomas Tatler, and he looks perfectly calm as he'll start from the front of the field. We'll take a look, though, at the starting grid for the final race of Group B. Starting from the rear of the field, it'll be Mac Backham and Luke Bennett after slowdown penalties for the pair of those, one of the favourites being Luke Bennett. Then Lasse Back and Daniel Pajtor inside the top 10 with 10th and 9th place. 8th will be Johan Harth, and 7th will be Ulas Olzilderim. 6th place, Ryan Barneveld, before we get to the 5th place of Yuri Kasdorp, looking really strong back in Monza and strong here as well. The champ will start his way from 4th, and then Isaac Price from 3rd. The front row of the grid sees James Baldwin, who nearly won ESL R1 Spring Major around here at the Nürburgring, of course, behind your ALJ fastest qualifying lap, which was set by Thomas Tatler. A fantastic drive from the heroic driver as he puts his hand right towards the top. Can he score himself 35 points, and can we see him in more action tomorrow? He's looking fast, he's looking hungry, and he's looking like he's got a bone to pick. Remember, he did miss out on going to Munich, not by a large margin, it was by the tightest margin. I think it was the 25th driver in the end of all of it, so now he's fighting.
Your ALJ fastest lap going to him, certainly in qualifying. Stellar from certainly that man, Thomas Tatler, and heroic looking good. Tommy Usgaard as well has been absolutely sensational. Yeah. Can Tatler do what he did too?
Yeah, certainly so. There seems to be the potential. They were saying, we knew coming into this that the Porsche would be pretty fast. It's pretty good. It's pretty strong. We found out yesterday that maybe Redline have found something in their BMW and how they're driving it and how they're approaching it. But still, if that Porsche is strong, we are seeing it. Less so from the Porsche Coanda team, more so from the likes of Heroic. There is Felix van Delft. Ears protected, so I don't flick him on the ear. But, no, he's obviously looking over Ryan Barneveld at the moment, the BMW M Team BS competition. They do have Yannick Yulch and of course Florian Hasper here, team bosses and big drivers up there as well. There is Will Chadwick, who we've seen quite a few times and caught up. There is his driver, Ulas Olzilderim, getting ready. Final preparations for the race. Yeah,
certainly is now. This is the final moments before we head to the grid, and naturally the drivers now getting those final preparations in place. We saw a couple of drivers sort of twisting the dials in the centre of the wheels. That, of course, enabling them to change the ABS usage, not to mention the anti-lock brakes and things of that nature. Everything else at their disposal, anything brake bias as well, in order for them to unlock pure potential behind the car. Obviously, all of them across an equal playing field in terms of what they can deliver, and it's all down to their pure abilities as racers out on a track, and certainly around Nürburgring, where there's so much treacherous danger. We speak about the Mercedes Arena, the technical section where drivers can make those initial moves. Dunlop certainly provides an option, a run up to the Schumacher S at turns 8 and 9, and then heading through turn 10, 11, Bogan at turn 12, and then the NGK at turns 13 and 14. The final corner being turn 15, one to watch. That'll send you down the long straight towards the opening S section at turns 1 and 2. There is, of course, Luke Bennett. He's going to need to recover here.
Did you see the death stare we got from Andre Kunchman? Of course, he'll be in the ear. That team will not be happy right now. No. Andre Kunchman in the ear of Luke Bennett. They'll be disappointed. They knew that this was going to be a good chance from that first sector was decent, but unfortunately, it all kind of fell apart. He'll be starting from 11th. What can he do from there?
Yeah, well, it's all a mystery right now. I mean, I think turn 1 is going to be the catalyst, but Lewis, are you ready to get us back underway?
Oh, I think I certainly am.
Brilliant.
Oh, I think I certainly am. Thomas Tattler will be starting this one from pole position. Marcel Chinchik.
Marcel Chinchik. Oosh. I'm going to give a hat tip. Do you know what? I'm gonna be the form character. I'm gonna go Thomas Tattler.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I took pole last time and it went really badly for Isaac Price. You're gonna ruin Thomas Tattler's day. We'll get ourselves ready for the final race. 4 for the day. We'll be halfway through after this when it comes to Thursday's action and the journey to Friday tomorrow and the Drivers' Championship. The lights come on and the second race in Group B is underway. Bad start from Thomas Tattler. James Baldwin might be attacking up towards that first corner, and once again the heroic car's not getting off the line very well. James Baldwin for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports team up towards the front. Big send from Yuri Kasdorp, but he's made contact with Marcel Chinchik and he's going to drop down the order here, potentially even behind the BMW M Team BS competition of Ryan Barneveld.
I would like to make my formal apologies to certainly Thomas Tattler. He's fallen back 2 places, but look at this. The man who's giving no apologies is Marcel Chinchik, but this time Yuri Kasdorp does have his number heading out of the Mercedes arena, but James Baldwin takes the lead of the race here at this point as they make their way in towards the first sector. Side by side they come as well. Kasdorp ran the outside once again as they look to come wheel to wheel, but still now heading down towards the Dunlop curve. Once again Chinchik going faster, advancing around the outside as they come out of that section at Dunlop now. Very soon to be Dunlop. They're coming through turn 6 at Ford, now down towards the Dunlop section. The mouse car once again have a look down the inside, but Chinchik ascending like he has done already at Monza. Yeah, but 1.2 seconds. James Baldwin to Isaac Price. Baldwin is in a really strong position right now. And it's like I say, it's very impressive from Baldwin. Kind of almost forgot he qualified in second, if I'm perfectly honest. But no, we know how strong James Baldwin is, especially when it comes to the race. Front row of the grid for him. And Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports team looking to move their way through into Friday's action. And with the hands of Baldwin, for the likes of Marcel Chinchik, like I said, 35 points already to him. Are we going to see a ding-dong battle between those two once again? It was absolutely excellent a couple of months ago back in Munich. I think we might well be in for another instalment of that tomorrow. Yeah, and I can imagine that RAG as a team will be absolutely thrilled to see Chinchik take the forefront yet again. He's becoming somewhat of a star in this. Well, he's already a star essentially. He's the ESL R1 Spring Series champion, as we now see them make their way through the final corner at turn 15. They'll then head down the straight once again. Ryan Barneveld, we're currently riding on board with, who's now looking to charge up against now the car ahead of that. That, of course, being Yuri Kasdorp representing Mouse, as now Barneveld has a look down the inside once again, thinks better of it. And Kasdorp, I think, a little later. Oh, goodness me, Thomas Tattler around at turn 1. And that will bring surely an end to his competitive stint in the race. Of course, he was in the top 3. He's now down to P6 and spinning the car the way he did. Promotes that to Marcel Chinchik now, as well as Kasdorp and Ryan Barneveld. Yeah, we'll need to take another look at that for sure. Not 100% sure as to how that actually quite came about to be. But now he's got Lasse back and the Furia team behind him before Johan Haas, Pajtor, Rulas, Azildarim. Also a little way off, Luke Bennett. I don't think Luke Bennett's even in this race anymore. I think he's done, which means for him, for one of our finalist drivers back in Munich, he's done. Yeah, and that's a shock, a major shock. We of course have seen that Redline have gone certainly superb with the likes of Kevin Siggy, but Bennett's a proven winner in ESL R1. We said, when we were talking about this earlier, we said we reckon 3 Redline drivers can make their way through. We weren't sure it was going to be all 4. Still could be.
We said 3, but the discussion was who was the 4th, who was the one that wasn't going to make it. I would not have called it to be Luke Bennett, certainly not around the Nürburgring. Well, we went back to front. We thought that Siggy would struggle yet again, but he's proved us wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the incident. This was Thomas Tattler. Oh, he launched into the back there of what looks to be Isaac Price, and then obviously managed to correct himself, and unfortunately now has paid the price. Oh, that was terrible. No, that was Marcel Chinchik up into 3rd. But yeah, I'm not letting you off with that one. I'm so sorry. Here comes the likes of Johan Haas down the inside of Lasse back. We'll cut off George Morgan and end all of that. The Apex Racing Team car up to 7. Sorry, Lewis. We're having a breakdown behind the commentator's desk. Lasse back now, charging down the straight now. Johan Haas is next on his list, heading down towards turn 1. Going very defensive as well, Johan Haas. Lasse back might choose to perhaps open up the door, heading through towards turn 2, as now they come through the Mercedes arena. Turn 3 and 4,
will come up next. Baldwin leading them round now, 1.6 separating Isaac Price and James Baldwin. So I think Price is more concerned about Cinchik in behind, and he should be as well. Cinchik already winning a race in this group. Of course, Group B's winner at Monza, as they now come out now of the Mercedes Arena section. They've got 2 more corners to take before they reach the Dunlop section, that being Valvoline and Ford. And then heading down then towards turn 7 indeed. There's the Furia car, all in the BMW with its very usual livery. Though of course we saw that in the previous spring season championship, the series that took us right through to the Munich Major, and heading down now in towards the Dunlop itself, before then rising up through towards the Michael Schumacher S at turns 8 and 9. Baldwin, though, with still the advancement in his cause, 1.7 now to his name. Price in behind those, with Marcel Cinchik just under, or just over, should I say, half a second in behind. Kansdorp waiting in the wings too. Just looking at this, it does seem to me that Price is sort of backing away. Great chance of redemption for James Baldwin here.
Yeah, certainly so. 1.7 seconds clear. Of course, again, this was a circuit where he was leading. He was in position to win. Then there was contact coming through the fight, through this chicane, through the end chicane between this man, Marcel Cinchik, who went on to go and win, obviously. Not around here. But there was contact between him. There was contact between Baldwin. The two went off. Erhan Yovsky came through to take the victory, and finalist mode just carried on. Let's see this move though to the outside. Daniel Pastor is going to go. Lasse back with the inside run out a little bit too deep going through the final corner. The up and under is going to work for the Williams Esports man, and it should be Daniel Pastor working his way through into 8th position. Tidy move as long as he can complete it down to the first corner.
Very, very smooth there from Daniel Pajtor. The switchback working for him, at least for now, but he will be faced with Lasse back yet again, heading through turn 1 as they make their way in towards the Mercedes Arena curve, but solidifying that position in P8 as they cruise through Mercedes Arena yet again. Turns 3 and 4 coming up after this, but Baldwin now checking out once again. Price now very nearly dipping into the 2 seconds outside of that of Baldwin, as Lasse back once again now faced with the prospects of Daniel Pajtor in front. That blue rear on the Mercedes that they drive, of course, in this series, and have done in the previous one as well during the Spring Series 2. Ryan Barneveld now starting to drop away because Thomas Tattler coming back into the fight too. He's within 2.5 tenths of that of the BMW. Currently sat in 5th place, with the Mouse Yuri Kansdorp car currently 4th and half a second plus in front of those two. Marcel Cinchik now starting to swarm on the rear of Isaac Price here, Lewis. It could be a potential P2 once again, this time for RAG. Yeah,
I think the Hungarian might well be able to make his way through. We see the, again, slightly different liveried RAG versus... I think most people looking at that, I think, yeah, that's just how the RAG always looks. No, there's more orange now. And it's... Yeah, well, we're not going to go into it. It's fine. Furious.
Leave it to Jasmine.
Yeah, no, exactly. I can't help it. Every time I see that, I'm just like, I'm just made a little bit more angry. But no, Marcel Cinchik in 3rd position at the moment. Isaac Price in 2nd. But Isaac Price, we said about the BMWs and their rear tyres. We're about halfway through the race now as we come through the NGK chicane up towards that final corner. Once we're done with that, we are halfway through this race. And if that BMW is going to start struggling, well, it's going to be a bit of a feast for the likes of Kansdorp behind, for the likes of Cinchik as well, who's directly on the rear end. Tattler as well. Ryan Barneveld is another one in the BMW, but he could well be looking after his tyres slightly better. The defensive line's being taken already by Isaac Price. Did not need to do so. Marcel Cinchik, again, as we've said before, does Marcel Cinchik need to risk anything here?
Well, this is it, but I think he's more than keen. I think he's more concerned with this pace. I mean, what can he do against someone like James Baldwin? This Audi does seem to have a lot of power. Certainly does seem to have a lot of potential here at this very circuit. And now Marcel making his way through the latter stages of the Mercedes Arena, coming through turns 4 now, before then heading down towards the Valvoline curve yet again. Just a little brush of his nose there as he looks to try and focus after Isaac Price. They now round this next left-hand. You can see James Baldwin in the distance. He's now checked out to 2 seconds. That is the gap. We've now got a replay as well here, Lewis. Yeah, Fury is out wide. This is with Luke Bennett. This is how Luke Bennett, I think, retired from the race, potentially. There was Johan Hart having a moment. The face car Ulasel Zildren out wide. Luke Bennett went. He came back onto the circuit, clattered into the side of Big Mac, and yeah, that was chaos. I was wondering why there were so many big gaps down the rear end of the field, but now we certainly have an answer to it, and that is why Luke Bennett will not be progressing any further in this competition today. We will see him back in action, of course, on Saturday, and he'll be, I'm sure, supporting his teammates in Group C and Group D, and of course Kevin Siggy, who's already locked into tomorrow. I will say, when it comes to points though, if the points carried over to tomorrow, Marcel Cinchik would be more
more inclined to go through. The only thing that's carried through in tomorrow is yourself. If you get inside that top 12, you're into tomorrow, and then we start the whole points hunt once again. Right now, if I'm Marcel Chinchik, there's just no need for me to get involved, really.
Not really, no, but I suppose if he has a long straight where he can escalate this manoeuvre. I mean, Isaac Price has been a superb defensive driver and did absolutely brilliantly to hold back the tirade that was placed against him at Monza. He's going to need to do exactly the same, though, coming out of turn 15 now. You can just see the R8G car now starting to roam up on the rear of Isaac Price's G2 Esports BMW. And you can just see the look on his face as well. He's just watching every portion of his screen just to see whether Chinchik does plumb for that overtaking. Just see in the rear view camera on the bottom right, but Chinchik having a favourable line heading into the Mercedes section as they head through turns 2 and turns 3 very shortly, and nip and tuck between the pair as they head through now in towards turn 3, very soon turn 4. On the brakes again, Isaac Price as he defends the position down the inside. They very nearly make contact once again, and all this bringing Yuri Kazdorp into the mix as well, so there could yet be a Banzai 3-car finish heading into the final few laps.
But again, I don't think Kazdorp has to do very much here. He finished second in the previous race, 20 points. He's fourth here. That'll be 13 points. We're thinking around about 30 points. Around 30 points is what you need. So he'd be on 33. Don't get me wrong, an extra couple on there wouldn't be too bad indeed. So if he can sneak his way past Marcel Chinchik, then excellent. I'm just really impressed with Yuri Kazdorp. There is a look at the trophy they are all fighting for. That's what they want to win. That's what they want to get their hands on tomorrow. But only 12 drivers can make it through to that point, and only one of them can get their hands on it. So that's what makes this so exciting.
Yeah, Kazdorp didn't have the easiest run in the Spring Series either, so this is very much an improved performance here from Yuri Kazdorp. I mean, finishing where he did in our previous race at Monza, of course that being race 3 of tonight's festivities, the first one for Group B, as now we see them make their way once again through towards this next right-in swinger. Price once again delivering a defensive masterclass. He keeps on delivering indeed, and now you just see the different lines being taken by the two cars as Chinchik has a look in the mirrors as they now come through the chicane. Once again, turn 15 coming up very soon as well. As you can see the pit entry on the right-hand side. And again, a little twist of the wheel. You can just see the inputs involved by all these drivers. Chinchik, obviously, very much on point, trying to keep his car now out of the dirty air, perhaps. Conscious, perhaps, of the tyres, it could be the case of, Lewis. Obviously, there is a lot of management involved.
No, I actually think what that was Marcel Chinchik actually sending a message to Isaac Price. I'm not fighting you, mate. I'm chilling. Because he's pulled out that way to break the slipstream. Obviously, to break the slipstream a little bit of Yuri Kazdorp, who wasn't even close enough anyway. He doesn't really need to fight Isaac Price. If he pulls over that side, if I'm the car driving, I'm like, to be fair, he's not looking down the inside or anything. He's trying to not get the slipstream, so he's not actually gaining the advantage, so he's not closing up. So he's basically saying, you do what you're doing, and I'll do what I'm doing. Maybe I'll go for a move later on, but right now, Chief, off you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, you know, Isaac Price needs these points as well. Obviously, P2 up for grabs, and certainly in this stint, given the fact that there's plenty on the table, 20 points going to P2 on this occasion. Yuri Kazdorp laying claim already to some of those as well, as we're seeing him make his way now down towards the Dunlop curve. He's getting a full view of this action between Isaac Price and Marcel Chinchik, who has been hovering all over the G2 Esports rear wing now for quite some time, despite obviously from what we saw, of course, running out wide, heading through turns 1 and 2, flicking the rear as well, as we see certainly Thomas Tatler, who's trying to fight his way at the field, chasing after Ryan Barneveld as well, qualifying very well at this very circuit. Heroic have put in 2 stellar qualifying performances, not only with that of Thomas Tatler, but also Tommy Oostgaard, who has been absolutely electric himself as well, as they now peel through. Ulas Ozyuldrim, who we're currently seeing on screen too, sat in P10, currently ahead of the big Mac Backham as well. And
I will say, with Isaac Price, you were saying he needs to hang on to this position. You're absolutely right. Let's see if Marcel Chinchik might actually make something. I saw that gap closing up, but no, he's not going for it now. Because he finished 5th in the race back in Monza, that's good enough for how many points?
That is good. I mean, if you finish 5th, you get 10 points to your name.
So 10 plus 20 is 30. That puts him 3 points shy of Yuri Kazdorp, right? So he needs to hang on to. If he doesn't hang on to second, we definitely aren't seeing him. He is not moving on. We're on the final lap of this race now. He needs second to have any chance. And at that point, it's kind of a gamble. He needs to get lucky, because at the moment, what that would mean is 4 drivers, if he goes through, 4 drivers will progress from this group. You've got James Baldwin, 35 points, Marcel Chinchik, 35 points plus whatever they've got in the previous round as well. And then Yuri Kazdorp as well, who'd have 33. Isaac Price would be 4th in this group, which would put him really on the cusp.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's so... it's so devastating. Obviously, when you step into this, given the points margins, it could be one race that could be could certainly contrast the result between winning and losing. Yeah. And Baldwin at this stage, I think, will be thrilled with his performance so far, taking a race win at this point. 35 points as well going to him should he remain at this point at the very end of the race. Jinchik once again hovering all over the rear of Isaac Price, who once again holds on to that P2. Again, looking in the mirrors, just seeing what Jinchik is up to. So just trying to monitor what the RHE driver is doing. Further back, Yuri Kazdor with another stellar performance, rising his way through the field. Credit as well to Ryan Barneveld, who looks to be on the cusp of sealing those 10 points here in this race too. Of course, the BMW team by BS Plus competition looking to secure yet more points in their championship charge. But we're on the final lap here, Lewis, and it's James Baldwin taking them through as they come out of this particular section now. The Mercedes leads the way, and they've had a tricky start to the day, but Baldwin will certainly cherish this one.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, the ALJ fastest qualifying lap does not seem to be too fortuitous when it comes to the race and when it comes to victory. James Baldwin finished on the podium in the previous round after that fantastic three-wide move straight down the middle. Baldwin will come through the final corner, though. He started from second, and this took the race lead into the first corner, and it is James Baldwin on top, where his teammate did it in round 6 of the championship online. Baldwin grabs himself 35 points and looks to book his place straight through into tomorrow's action. Of course it had to be. We know how fast Baldwin is. He was a proper contender back in Munich, and he is showing that here in ESL R1, sponsored by Aramco at Gamers8, he is one to watch.
He is the world's fastest gamer for a reason. He has just managed to scoop together a race win for Mercedes. Back again, James Baldwin. What a performance. He's thrilled, and he has every right to be. And very soon he'll be speaking to Barney.
Yeah, certainly so. Again, a brilliant effort from Baldwin. And like I say, he knows how it's done. Now he's done his hard work. He gets to sit back, he gets to relax, he gets to watch his teammates Bunner House and Graham Carroll go out in action. Of course, Mark Weller straight over to have a little bit of a chat, a bit of a debrief as well. Not out with the camera though, not filming. They've been doing a lot of filming this weekend. Have the Mercedes AMG team, Petronas Esports, and of course Baldwin being there. He's had a few chats, of course, with Barney over the week prior, and now he is about to have another one. That one courtesy of victory here at the Nürburgring.
Welcome back to the main stage, and we thought it was going to happen. James, I've got to say, you said, I mean, we caught each other very briefly before you came into the Group B races, and you said you were 50-50 in terms of confidence. You weren't too sure. Well, in terms of confidence, I would say that you should feel pretty confident. That was pretty spicy, wasn't it?
It was tough, yeah. Monza was like, I had basically one cut track left after lap 5, so I had to be super careful. And yeah, I mean, in general feeling, I've not really got a good feeling here compared to like the Munich Major or the online season. Don't know why, but yeah, made the best of it and managed to scrape a win there at Nürb. So yeah, happy.
فعلا بعد ما سالنا المتسابق معنا بولدوين اللي شفنا فيه شيء قدر يحقق الانتصار في السباق الماضي، وحتى برضو قلنا له ان انت ما كنت واثق من الانتصار في هذا السباق، وكانت حتى برضو كنت يعني شاكه شوي في قدراتك، لكن اللي شفنا النتيجه كانت غير متوقعه، او بالاصح قدرت تحقق النصر فيها. فايش السبب خلينا نقول اللي كانت في هذه السباق؟ ذكر ان صحيح انك واجه فيها صعوبات، لكن قدر يحقق الانتصار رغم ان في الجوله الخامسه كانت جدا صعبه شوي، لكن
Now, James, Lewis and George, our commentators, great guys. They were having a bit of a conversation before Nürburgring started. And Lewis said, if you ain't pole position at Nürburgring, you ain't winning. Now, that's your camera right there. Would you like to say anything to Lewis?
When you said Lewis and George, I thought you meant Lewis Hamilton, George Russell.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, the Merc has good starts, you know, and I don't know what happened with the Porsche, who was on pole, but I think he got a bad start. So I think if you're on the front row, you have a chance, definitely. Yeah.
Safe.
بالضبط. بعد ما سالنا المتسابق حتى برضو ايش الكلمه الحاب يقولها للمشاركين حتى برضو هنا معنا ان صحيح في هذا المضمار تحديدا كان جدا صعب في كيف ثقتك حتى برضو فيها. قال ان هل هي فعلا كان او بالاصح هل هي كانت جدا سهله بهذه المنافسه حتى، لكن ذكر ان لا قدرنا يتفوق فيها، وبكل صراحه شفنا اداء مثالي منه وحتى برضو من زملائه اللي تسابقوا معنا في هذا السباق.
A nice diplomatic answer, I like that. But you know what, James? Thank you so much for joining us here on the main stage. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck for the remainder of the week. And with that, we're going to go back over to the desk so they can break everything down before we go into Group C of our competition.
بالضبط. الحين اعزائنا المشاهدين بعد ما اخذنا المقابله في هذه المجموعه وانهينا المجموعه الثانيه اللي معنا، باقي عندنا المجموعه الثالثه، خلينا ننتقل على طول على الاستديو نتكلم تفاصيلها اكثر بعد ان نرجع في المسابقه